I don't want to inherit someone else's idea of what my life should be like. I want to create my life completely from scratch based on what I need. As I mature and change over time, it's always a moving target as to what I need in my life at that moment.
I'm Amy.
I'm April.
Certified sex educators, sexperts of the year, and best-selling authors.
And we're on a mission to help you have more spicy, connected, and amazing shameless sex. Welcome to the Shameless Sex Revolution.
We're so close, it's like we have our own language. We're making sex and relationships shameless.
To learn more, go to shamelesssex.com.
And for 15% off some of our favorite sex toys, use code SHAMELESSSEX at purepleasureshop.com.
You were listening to a pleasure podcast. For more from our sex podcast collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome back to the Shameless Sex Podcast, your favorite podcast about sex. I know, it's not good.
I love that jingle.
I've done that so many times. I should probably work on my singing skills.
You
should
have
do
a
it.
lot of good jingles.
What about when you do it, though, with your pretty voice?
It's not as pretty sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Right now, I feel like it's a little...
You're shameless.
I'll think about a jam for it.
Anyways, this episode is with Susan Bratton, sex expert to millions. It's her 5th time on our show, but she's also been in some mashups. She's been on our show many times in other ways.
She's so cool. And we stayed at her house.
Yes.
We recorded this in person in her studio that's in the lower level of her house.
Yes.
And she has so much energy. I've never met a person with more charisma. And she's always like that, even when we're not on hitting record.
And let's say in honor of the fact that she's 60, over 60,
over
right?
60.
Yeah.
I don't actually know how old she is.
I think she's like 60.
I know she's older than 60.
Yeah. And she has
so
more
cool.
energy than we do.
I know.
And more knowledge about sex. We learned so much from her.
Well, and a different perspective too,
Yes.
because she's coming from, she's in a polyamorous relationship.
Marriage,
too.
yeah.
Yes. So she's married and has a boyfriend. He was there.
Her daughter was there
and
too.
her daughter was
Yeah.
there. She was cool. Yeah. It's fun.
It was awesome. So this is Sex Trends of 2025. And this is a 2-part episode. So there's this one. This is part 1 with the first 5 sex trends. And then next week you will get 5 more. If you want to learn anything about these products, you go to aprilamy.com. But you will listen and learn. And there will be video for this that you can watch on Spotify or YouTube because we're holding up a lot of products. So you'll be like, what are you talking about?
And guess what else? We're on video right now.
Yeah, we are.
We have finally some awesome fan bought us Rode mics. They're like RODE Rode.
I know who that is. Our
wireless mics. Yeah.
That are the lovely couple on the East Coast.
Yes.
Thank
so
you.
We love both of them, the fans, and we finally figured out how to use them. So now we have video for our intros. Like I'm looking at Amy, she's looking at me, and it's all I MacGyvered something together.
She did a good job.
To have the phone in place. So you can actually check out our intros on video as
you'd
well.
see us as we're in our studio.
I know. We used to not have to care about what
we care more now.
Come in our pajamas. Now I'm like the lighting.
We care so much more now. Okay, so before we dive into the episode, a couple things. One, we have talked about this for the last couple of weeks. We have a retreat coming up. It is our 4th retreat. This one is for everyone, whether you're in a coupleship, lovership, or you are an individual, whether you're single or just want to come with your friend.
Or besties.
Yeah, and it's for all humans, regardless of if you have a penis or a pussy, in the Coachella Valley, so near Palm Springs. We have a beautiful, beautiful villa there, and it is May 8th through 11th, 2025. So 3 nights, 4 days.
Not a sex orgy, not a dating retreat. It's basically a sexual wellness retreat. So
Yes.
think about that. It's so much fun. We have a lot of really cool things in store. So shamelesssex.com for the info and to sign up. We've sold a bunch of spots already.
Yeah.
And we're really pumped on just having a time in I love Palm Springs area, like the desert vibes.
And we love hanging out with our listeners and then creating this community that keeps growing from all of our past retreats. So
that's right.
Come hang out with us. One other announcement before we do the sex question. This is coming out, I think this is mid-February. So the end of February, well, close to the end because February is a shorter month. So not really the end. Sunday.
And your birthday.
My birthday. I'm turning 40
Guess
this
what?
year.
It's going to be 40, everyone.
That's not what the announcement
is.
is. But if you want to go to our Amazon wish list, you can go there and buy us gifts. You can buy it for me and I'll share it with you.
We should buy Amy the gifts because she's the one having the birthday.
I'm turning 40, y'all. That's big.
I've had several more birthdays than you now. So
only several.
It's your it's your turn to shine.
I'll
but
share
that's
that with
not
her.
what the announcement is. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say I love you so much. I'm so happy that you were born.
Thank you. And also thanks to my mom for that one. Because, without you. If you are in or near the Bay Area, Sunday, February 23rd, there is something called an oral sex grad school with Reed Mihalko and Dr. Allison Ash. They've both been on our show many times. If you want to learn oral sex, you learn from these two people. Like, this is where you go to learn. This is like the experts upon experts. So you can go sign up or learn more. Go to turnon.love/events and we'll put the link in the show notes. But if you are available February 23rd, go to this.
And that's in person.
Yes.
That's cool.
I know. And that was like in person. Wow. So edgy.
Those two humans are like by far two of the smartest people and such great sex educators. And Dr. Allison Ash, like she teaches at Stanford.
Yeah.
And Reed Mihalko, we've talked about him so many times. I've
seen
a
him
phenomenal
demo like
educator.
how to do oral sex on various things
He's smart.
many times, and that guy knows
He's in our
what
book.
he's talking about.
They're both in our book.
Yeah, they totally are.
I love that.
Are you ready for a sex question?
I'm so ready.
All right. I've been listening to your podcast for years, and I even watched some of your episodes on YouTube. But here's the thing. I still have a hard time figuring out how to apply what I'm learning to sex with my husband. Like, I hear it, but it doesn't translate. Is it just me, or do you have any suggestions on what else I can do to better understand what to try and how to do it?
Oh.
This person is so not alone. I'm a visual learner.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's so hard. You visually... If I try to describe to you the color blue,
I would relate it to the sky. But if you're trying to describe to me something I've never seen or done before, then I'm like so confused. And this is why we wrote a book, because we wanted it to be, more accessible and something that kind of like a curated experience of all the things we talk about, but it still is just a book.
it's still something you have to interpret.
Exactly. So we just discovered this recently, and we're super excited about this because it's already changed our lives, because we're both visual learners. I wonder what the stats are on how many people are like more visual learners than not. I would imagine it's pretty high to be a visual learner.
I could ask, but my phone is being used to record us.
You don't need to ask, but I assume that this is a common thing. So we just discovered, we knew about Masterclass. We finally tried it out. And the first one we tried was The Art of Sex Appeal.
I've been a member for a long time of Masterclass, by the way. It's awesome.
Oh, you have been? Okay.
Yes. For years. When it first came out.
When I talked about it, you didn't give me the push to actually do it.
Well, because I was preoccupied.
Oh, okay. Well, now I got the push. I actually tried this, The Art of Sex Appeal, and it's fucking awesome. Even as a sex educator, I learned so much from it.
And Masterclass is a platform, it has like hundreds of different classes that you can take by leading experts in the world, the instructors, and they're not extremely long classes. They're like, there's sometimes
this one's like a little over 2 hours,
sessions.
I think, or so.
Yes, but you could break it up into there's like different. They're cut up nicely. So if you have severe attention deficit like myself, you can just pause and you can listen to it anywhere,
and it go over and over again. Like it's always there when you want
but
to.
It's visual.
Yes, exactly. So it has the visual part. So this is talking about and showing lots of techniques, positions for pussies and penises. How it talks about how to become multi-orgasmic, G spots, A spots, squirting, penises, how to communicate with your partner, attraction, flirting, seduction. It's basically everything. And then you have these diagrams, and then there's actual interviews with couples.
And Shan Boudram, she is not only a sexologist, she's ASECT certified sex educator.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's the expert sex and relationship advisor at I think at one of the dating apps. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's one that everyone knows. Probably shouldn't say it anyway.
Yeah,
but
not sponsored.
Yes, but she's incredible. We watched this together a little bit, Amy and I, because we're talking about it to all y'all, and we had both watched it before, and I was like, oh, let's talk about our favorite parts. The way she describes things is really cool.
The lower back thing. We're just talking about the foreplay versus core play. You have to check it out to know what I'm talking about. But there was something about massaging the lower back, and then you can like feel it in your genitals. And I tried that, and it worked.
Last piece about this. So mastery in general. Just want to comment because we talk about that in our book a bunch, where it's people could think they're a master. You could be a professor at a university that you're teaching people about a specific course. However, those people never stop learning either. You can never just
the masters are learning from other, or like the experts are learning from other experts continuously.
If you might be like, I'm a master in the bedroom. You might be saying that to yourself right now. And
there's always room to learn.
You can learn more.
Yeah.
And even if you're a single 20-something or you're married in a long-term relationship, you have kids
and this person's not saying those things. They're married because they have the husband. I mean, this would be perfect for what they're talking about though. Like you get the visuals, you get the course, you can pause it, you can try the things, and then you come back to it. And not just for married people, like April saying, it's for anyone and everyone. It's awesome. You should check it out.
The Art of Sex Appeal. I love the name too.
And we also have a special deal for y'all. Our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/shameless. Again, that's 15% off at masterclass.com/shameless. If you didn't hear that before, masterclass.com/shameless, 15% off. And that means you can access other classes, not just this one. But if you do this, check this one out because it's amazing.
It's also only about $10 a month, and you get 15% off that annual subscription. So do the math. That's a pretty good deal.
Yep.
Are you ready for the bio?
Yeah.
Susan Bratton, I just love her. Susan Bratton, intimacy expert to millions, is a champion and advocate for all those who desire lifelong intimacy and passion. She's created hundreds of techniques that transform having sex into making love and is the world's most well-respected sexual biohacker with a focus on extending your sex span to lengthen your health span. To learn more, go to susanbratton.com.
All right, everyone, it is interview time, and we are here with Susan Bratton. She is the sex advisor to many, many millions.
Number one.
Number one.
Our number one. I love her.
Our number one.
So much.
And she's been on our show multiple times.
I think this might be my 4th or 5th appearance.
She's
now.
one of those guests. You know what that means, everyone? That means that
Sticky booger.
It's the type of guest we're like, we need you back on our show. We love learning from you. We love what you share with our listeners. And so we are here today to talk about the top 10 sex trends of 2025. Are y'all ready for this?
Y'all ready for this?
Are y'all ready for blues?
Yes.
Essentially, we're giving people the tools so they're prepared to actually be
And
great
there's
lovers.
things that we also, because we had notes, everyone.
Yeah.
Susan is so together with everything. We have notes, and there's things that I haven't even heard of. And Amy's like, what is that too? So we're learning with you all. And I'm stoked because some of these things, I mean, I'm not even going to give any teasers, listen, are out of this world.
Yeah.
What? Shrooms and sex? Hey, I know about that a little bit, but yeah, I can't wait to get started. So wait, tell us about what you've been up to.
Shit. I've been working my ass off. It's an interesting thing. I have hit a little success. I've had the taste of success and I like it. And I have, and really thanks to you in many ways for giving me the exposure to your audience. It's been busy. I've been doing a lot. I've been speaking a lot. I've been on a lot of shows. I was on a show recently and there were, I think there's like 2.5 million viewers just on YouTube alone.
Oh, I saw that.
No
video.
big deal. No big deal.
Yes.
2.5 million.
And it was an interesting experience because one of the 10, I'm going to save it because one of the 10 sex trends, I mentioned it on the show and about a third of the people had a shit fit. I was called a whore, a slut, a Jezebel.
Oh my. That sounds awesome.
Like that's like delusional. But
you handle that shit so well, though.
500 times in 48 hours in the comments on the YouTube channel.
That's great. People are spending
and I'm like,
some time.
I'm famous now. Oh, I'm a Jezebel, a whore, a slut. Yay! And it was about one of the trends.
Really?
Oh,
You'll tell us which one.
I'm dropping a tease. Of course, I'm going to tell you.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So I've been well, but I've also been working my ass off, and I feel like it only took me 20 years to become successful, as you know it does. So I'm enjoying the exposure because I have a lot to say about sex.
And you're so smart.
Hot sex.
Yes, you've taught us so much. Every time we've had you on the show, we learned something new from you. As I said before, like we learned about the O shots and the P shots and all the shots, but now we're going to learn about all the shots.
Yeah.
Tequila shots? No, not so much.
Well, maybe later.
Maybe later.
After later thing, yeah.
And if you're not on YouTube, listen to us and watch us on YouTube because you can see Susan in the flesh. She's beautiful and she's brilliant.
We have all the toys we're talking about, though.
Oh, we
which
do.
We have a lot of things.
It's going to be comical. This will be fun. I can't wait. We never do something like this. And we're in Susan's studio, which is brilliant. So thanks for having us.
Yeah. Spending time with Susan, like April said, is always an educational moment for us. We learned so much from you, and we're super excited. So with that, let's go in. What is the number one? Not number one, like, is number one mean like is the top one out of the one?
Are they in order? Yeah, chronological?
They're not actually chronological, but it did draw me to put it as number one because there is an outpouring from women saying, I fucking want this, man. I want this. I need this. And the husbands are calling me. They're like, tell her what to do. So it's number one. It's number one because of that. There's just like this pent up desire to have this experience. Women are starting to really understand how their arousal works and what it is that we need that we haven't been getting because all we see are basically something for the gaze of men. Mm-hmm. And so I don't want to spill what it is. You guys, you say.
I thought you were talking about the gaze, like the gaze, because I love the gaze.
I love the gaze.
I love
the gaze. No, the gaze can do no wrong. I'm talking about
the male gaze.
I'm talking about the male G-A-Z-E.
Yeah. Got it.
Like what sex looks like to men versus what sex would look like if women were in control of what sex looks like.
And
that's what I'm talking about.
And I think the whole thing about the male gaze too, with like, so we're speaking of porn, everyone, is very much like what people, mostly men, think what men would like. Whereas I think a lot of men, maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong, because you work with a lot of men, they actually are wanting other things such as number one, Yoni Massage and Lay-Ons.
Yes, exactly.
they're like, because they want to be better lovers. They want to be great lovers. They want to be amazing. They want to be attentive. They want to be caring. And so there's some people like, well, sex is just like what you see in porn. And there's plenty of people who are like, I want more. And I know there's more. Yeah. Which is what this probably is.
And that's actually going to get to trend number 10, which is, I'm not going to say it, but it has to do with tantric sex, embodiment, learning about things like that.
Which, so don't yawn. Sometimes our listeners don't like to talk about tantric sex.
Or embodiment.
Or embodiment. But when we talk about that, it can be so many different facets. It doesn't have to be your crystals are on your body.
Right. No, it's not the hippie trippy part.
Believe me, Susan is not like that.
I'm not trippy.
That's why
I'm DTF, girl. Boys.
And so Yoni Massage.
Got my phone up my butt. Hang on.
We talked about Yoni Massage before, and Amy was like a huge fan of Yoni Massage, and I'm one of those people that's like, I don't know. However, I have had a really beautiful experience with Yoni Massage in the last couple of months, and I think it is about taking the time. So, can you talk about this the number one trend, not in chronological order, the Yoni Massage, and then there's the lay-on. Yeah, we're talking about lay-on products.
Yes,
not layaway.
That was my first one. Remember?
Who has that?
I've got it right under my dog.
You don't. There's one. There's two. Where's the other one?
So the other one. Oh,
somewhere right here.
Amy has it. Pulling out vibrators.
We're sitting on a pile.
I found one that wasn't even part of it.
I wondered where that prostate massager went. This is what happens at my house. You don't find quarters in my cushions. You find prostate massagers in my cushions.
That's fun.
Good thing we got.
So we're going to talk about the lay-on vibrators, which I want to just cue something. That was my first sex toy ever, was a lay-on vibrator. And lay-on vibrators, you can go hands-free, which is so cool because you can kind of grind on it.
Yes.
Right? And hump it. So what are the trends? Like, what are your favorite?
So the trend, Yoni Massage and Lay-Ons, what it's really about is the notion that women want more yoni pleasuring, vulva pleasuring, hands-on massage of all of our genital tissues, because that's where our erectile tissue is, and it needs to get plumped up. We got to get our lady boners before we're penetrated or even get oral. And one of the things that I find when I talk about yoni massage is that people are like, okay, well, what do I do? And it's literally as simple as using a tool. You don't have to, there's nothing special. All you're doing is basically a pussy massage. That's all it is. And I like to use tools. And there's two tools I recommend that I've vetted from a
screwdriver
and a hammer. A tow truck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And a saw.
And 17 marshmallows.
Works every time. If only it did.
And so these are the two tools. This one is Now, I love this one. This is literally called Vibe. And everything that we're going to show you or tell you about is at aprilamey.com. So you don't have to worry. But what I love about this particular one is if I turned this on, if Amy turned it on and she turned it all the way up to level 11,
it's powerful.
It's powerful, but you can't hear it. So if you have kids in the house and you don't use sex toys, or if you're ADHD or a highly sensitive person and you don't like noisy shit, this is a fantastic product. And if you like humping and grinding on your solo pleasuring, also fantastic.
For the audio people, if you're not in YouTube right now, it's a toy that it can fit in your hand, and it has that tech that it's kind of what it doesn't.
It kind of curves up. So like it's kind of the lay-on design, right? So it has this part that is a little bit flat but curved that can go over my mons, also known as like curve around my pubic bone, and then on top of my clitoris.
Right, because that gets your clit shaft.
And it has a nice little point here because my clitoris likes texture when I use products on it, not just like a flat surface. And so I can use that and either lay it on there and then stuff someone on top of me or behind me, or just use it on my own. But I can even move it around and then it can get to the right spots on or around the clitoris. I'm more of like a on the clit, but more to the left or right clit person. And then on the clit is like special occasions. Yeah.
Well, what's nice about it too is that I generally, with a male partner, he's willing to try a tool. So I call them tools instead of toys, because he doesn't want to be replaced. He wants to be enhanced. He wants to do something he can't do on his own with his hands or his mouth or his penis. And this is the other one that I like, and it's equally as good. This has something called pulse plate technology, and it really sends the sensation. This is called the Queen.
I've used that before. It's good.
It's the Queen.
Yeah.
I love this toy so much.
Me
I was
too.
part of the development.
Yes, you were.
And I tested it out, and I laid on this thing a lot.
Yeah.
Not this particular one,
Yeah.
but and the color was also my doing, which I love.
I love the color too.
Me too.
Thank
it matches
you.
the cover of our
And
book.
it has that,
It
the pulse plate,
does.
which is, so I want you to talk about it because I've talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
So have you laid on this?
Yes. And but what I like it for is I like Tim to give me a pussy massage with it.
That's
First,
your partner.
I like him to, one of them. First, I like him to massage my whole vulva with his hands with nice oil. And we've got a little oil to show you later that I really love now. And then I like him to take that out and I like him to rub it all around on my outer labia and my mons, and then my inner labia and my clitoral shaft.
Tell me what mons
And
are
the
again.
best- The mons.
The mons, because
The mons
we haven't talked about.
is the pubic bone. It's basically the top part of where the pubic hair is.
Yeah.
And then it goes down where the pubic hair is on each side. That's the outer labia.
Mhm.
So like that whole horseshoe shape really loves this pulse plate pulsation because it stimulates the clitoral erectile tissue deep inside.
Mhm.
And so you get a lovely lady boner.
Yeah. Who doesn't want that?
I actually have used this on my temp. Was this one on your vulva before, Susan?
Likely.
If it was,
No,
I'm
I'm
getting
using
good
it on my
juju.
temple.
That one's my
Good.
demo.
Yeah.
No
But
pussy juice on there.
Yeah.
It does really help also like with stimulating blood flow because you can use it on wrinkles. Have you ever had one of those facials where the gua sha, but this is like multifaceted stuff with the gua sha facials, but this you can actually put it with some ice and it can actually help you with some blood flow and preventing. So you can go collagen stimulation here and anti-wrinkling here. Okay, everyone?
I think I found
The Queen.
also for people. So if you like stronger stuff, it's great.
Right. The Queen is stronger
Yeah.
than the Vibe. The Vibe is if you're very, very sensitive to noise and stimulation, but it's plenty strong.
And that one's more like thumpy. And then
Yes.
also I feel like
I
for
use them
people, because some people have weird things about traditional vibrators with partners, like you said, like, penis owners.
They don't want a dildo-shaped vibrator.
and they don't want to be replaced, right? But I think everyone agrees, like, regardless of your genitals, no one wants to be replaced. They want to feel like enhanced, but not replaced.
Yeah.
And so this one, I feel like it's not your traditional vibrator. So if people are like, I don't know, is it like, does it look like a dildo or a cock? It's great and it feels amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
And it won't
number
numb
one
you
sex
out.
trend.
Won't numb you
is-
out either.
That's right. It does not
Yeah,
numb you out.
I
It
like that.
enhances your orgasmic capacity. It increases your orgasmic potential. It helps you have orgasms from intercourse, orgasms from oral, because you're getting all that blood flow in. So this is the number one thing women want right now that talk to me. Of all the things women ask for and desire, they want yoni massages or pussy massage. You can call it a flower massage, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Number two.
Number two. What's number two, Chip?
sex tech.
Ooh.
So this is really fun because I love sex tech.
I know you
And
do.
you're the boss queen of sex tech. So we're talking about
No, you're the boss.
Well,
I don't know, yeah.
so we're talking about sex tech though, and there's something in here that I can't wait for you to talk about which is like the inflation.
Me too.
Yeah. Like the inflation, there's warmth, there's
Not the economy, everyone. Not that kind of
biomodulation.
inflation.
No, inflation, not money, okay? We're not talking about monetary inflation, but we're talking about toys that inflate, and then photobiomodulation,
Yes.
and then app-driven orgasm meditation, which is so cool because meditation has kept me sane all these years. And when I can incorporate that into my orgasm.
So she has a red.
So I have not seen this before.
Whoa.
What is this? Okay, what is this?
So
Susan?
this is photobiomodulation, red light therapy. And this is a little product that I love. This is called Lumi. I'll put a link at aprilamy.com for you. And I love it because this stand, if you put this on the bedside, it illuminates your room like a warm firelight glow. It makes you look. It is adorable. It makes you, here, take it. It makes you look beautiful. It makes your skin look beautiful. It's an incredibly
let me see
light.
that.
Not while you have it on your skin. It's
But-
a later, effect.
Is this like, wait, so is this like UV when you're like,
It's infrared.
or infrared? Oh, wait, so this is
Infrared
good for
light,
your,
red
Yeah.
light therapy. So
Yeah.
it's
how do I
good.
look right now?
You look
beautiful.
red. You always look beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's infrared. So what you're doing is you're actually stimulating the mitochondria, the batteries in your cells, so that you have more ATP, more energy to produce like beautiful skin, beautiful hair, etc. And it's also something that you can do to heal wounds. You can use it on your knee after you go
What about my dog? Will it help my
snowboarding.
dog?
It would help your dog.
Oh,
It
here
works
you go.
on animals too. But what I really like it for is that I like to bathe in red light for like youthful looking skin. But what I love about it is it fits on the bedside table and it makes it feel like you're fucking in firelight, which
Ooh.
is the classic.
Red lighting, everyone. If
I'm
everyone's
just-
looking
wow.
for like a number one sex tip on how to make your room sexy, just get a red light bulb or
Yes,
get the
get
Lumi
this,
box.
Because then you're also having health benefits. A red light bulb doesn't really give you the health
How
benefits.
long does this thing last? I love it.
It goes on 25 minutes, I think, and then it goes off, but you can turn it back on. And here, I brought 2 of these for you today. Here's one.
Oh,
for
I've
you.
tried this before too.
I do love this, Susan. I've never seen this before. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, isn't it good?
I love
Here's
your
one
box.
for you.
Oh, yes. I love this
Here, I'll
one.
take this away for you.
Okay.
But anyway, I
There you go.
love this because it's dual purpose. It's both medically healthy, but it's also sexy by the bed.
So that's
I
creating the
love that.
warmth. You're talking about the warmth part, right? Creating
The
warmth in the glow. Okay.
Yes.
Warmth
And
plus-
how long do you have to use that? By the way, the infrared light. Like how much? Do you
It
recommend?
depends on what you're doing. I'd follow the directions in the box because
Okay.
it's real deal shit. You don't want to mess around with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I trust you.
So let's see. I don't have my glasses on. Can you hit the on switch?
Yes. 1 second.
Ooh, this one makes you look hot.
I
too.
hope I charged it.
Oh,
So I have
This
one
one
of
did-
these, the ones this
Plug it in.
pad. I have one of those at my house and I love it.
Yeah, I know. I gave this to you a while ago.
Yes.
You put it on your knee a lot.
I put it on my knee. I also
Yeah.
put it on my partner's cock. He's like, I really do feel like this is helping with
It does.
my enhancement. I was like, I'm telling
we
you,
go.
he doesn't do it regularly enough.
did you get this one?
Yeah.
The same one? Okay, cool.
Mhm. Yeah. So this one is red light too, and it wraps. So you can wrap it around your arm, your knee, your penis. You can put it on your vulva, etc. And that's for, there you go.
It feels so good. I'm doing it.
Oh my God, it's so
Yummy.
red
It's my
light.
vibrator. It's not my penis, but it works. It's red on red.
Red on red. And these are what are called intravaginal photobiomodulation devices.
Ooh.
They're for vaginal rejuvenation. And essentially, just hold that and it'll go red. There you go.
Okay.
And it uses warmth, red light, and vibration, and it reverses atrophy. It helps with lubrication. It helps with incontinence. It helps with vaginal mucosal lubrication and wetness and vaginal microbiome and all these kinds of things.
Vaginal restoration device.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I love
vaginal
restoration.
rejuvenation.
Mhm.
Exactly.
It's like preserving the greatness that you are.
yes.
And this is great. So vaginal atrophy.
Yeah.
What about vaginal dryness?
Yes,
if you-
dryness.
even menopause, perimenopausal
Mhm, right.
situations. That's great. And it's curved for slight G-spot
And
stimulation.
no, you don't use this like a sex toy.
Okay.
You just slide this in and let that red light bathe the vaginal
but
lining.
it vibrates. That would feel good.
That's for the Kegel toning to help with pelvic floor musculature.
So if you get off
So
on
this is a medical device.
Okay.
This is not a sex toy.
I've used it as a sex toy.
Yes, I was going to say.
It's not supposed to be used that way, everyone. And I was using it for medical purposes.
Just had a little orgasm by
I was
accident.
like, this is good. Yeah.
I came.
And
It's
so
like
even if
multi-purpose.
it's not designed for that, but that's it happened. And so people pay a lot of money to go into the clinics to go and do like the diva,
yes, the
laser.
diva.
And so this is like the home
At
variation
home,
of that.
It doesn't hurt.
And
It doesn't
doesn't cost
burn you.
And you can use it
It's only
more
a couple
often.
$100.
Yes.
Right.
Vagina device every other day, 8 to 10 weeks, reverses all those problems that start to crop up that keep you from wanting to have sex because it hurts.
So it's preventative
So, yes.
too. You can get it before the problems pop up.
Yes.
Hey, podcast fam. I've been shamelessly wanting to check out Masterclass for a while now, and I couldn't resist diving into the class on The Art of Sex Appeal by expert sexologist Shan Boudram. Let me tell you, it was an absolute mind blower.
Shan is such an amazing instructor. And even if you think you're already a master in the bedroom, there's always more to learn. Just take Shan's class on Masterclass and you'll definitely pick up on some new tools and you can apply them to your sex life right now. I know I did.
And me too, Chip, for sure. Shan's class is comprehensive and packed full of practical techniques. Think positions for all bodies, foreplay versus core play, and even erogenous zone tips that you will want to learn. Who knew that a lower back massage could lead to such intense genital sensations?
I didn't, and now I do. This class has everything from becoming multi-orgasmic to G-spots to A-spots, and the class is super visual with diagrams, live examples, and interviews with real couples. It's like having your dream pleasure mentor in your pocket whenever you want.
With Masterclass, you can learn from over 200 of the world's best instructors. For just $10 a month billed annually, you get unlimited access to every class and every instructor, and you can watch on your phone, computer, or smart TV.
Shan's class meets you where you are, whether you're single, searching for the one, or 20 years deep into a relationship with kids. It teaches you to own your confidence and redefine your desires.
And the results are real, y'all. 88% of members report a positive impact from their classes. Plus, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee.
And right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/shameless. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/shameless. Masterclass.com/shameless.
And then this is
It's like Christmas around here.
So it's really, I know it
Toys
is
keep
totally.
popping up out of everywhere.
It's Susie's sexy show and tell.
Yeah.
This is the inflatable.
Oh, yes.
And I'll hand this off to you.
Okay.
So I've been having really incredible sex with this lately because one of the things that I've been working on is stimulating. Like, I don't think about my vagina as a canal. I think about it as a cave. And I want to activate all of the tissue in the entire cave because it's all orgasmic. It's not just the G spot or the A spot or the cervix or what. That's just like the whole vagina is orgasmic. You just have to activate it. And one of the things that a vagina likes, it has mechanoreceptors in it. And that means the cells of your vagina respond to pressure. And so what it likes is when you can pump it up inside you and press on all of the walls. Oh, damn. That feels good. So now one of the things we're going to talk about is penis pumps, and that's for enlarging the penis. We'll talk about that in a little while. But the reason we like big penises inside us is because it presses on all that tissue. So that's interesting. And then the other thing that's really interesting is heated vibrators. You can take it out of there.
So this one inflates. This one inflates.
Yes.
Okay.
Inflatable and then heated.
And it's like a bunny vibe or something, right?
Yeah, that's the bunny. And
Bunny
this
vibe?
one's the hotspot. And the links are at April Amy. And it has an app that runs these vibrators.
The one that Amy's holding.
Yes, both of them. It runs both of them. It runs all of them.
At the same time? maybe.
It doesn't. You have to unpair and then pair a new one. You
Okay.
can't do. Now, I like using a couple vibrators at the same time.
Okay.
I like to stack
Fair
my tools.
Like an orgy, like a toy orgy.
I do. I have a toy orgy.
Love that.
But
Or
what
a
I
gangbang.
Again, a toy
yeah, right, a DIY GB.
Yeah.
So what's nice about that, it takes about 5 minutes for that to heat up, but it heats up to about 104 degrees or 40
Dang,
C.
okay.
That's the perfect time.
And it's a little rabbit, and you can essentially put it on all these different things. So there's meditations. The one that I was listening to last night was called Lulla Vulva, like lullaby for your vulva.
Cute.
And it was a meditation, a guided meditation. And when you put this inside you and it's warm in your pussy, it feels so good.
It puts you
Warm
right to sleep.
toys. And then you're guided through this meditation, and it takes your pussy on a journey, a pleasure journey.
That's so sweet.
I know. So between warmth, inflation, red light, vibrate, we're really moving
It's like the
into a
pussy
different
spa.
era. It is.
It's the pussy spa.
Mhm.
I like that. You
I
have
do
all
like
the
pussy
things
spa.
ready to like self-care.
Yeah.
And it balances with pleasure.
Yeah.
Self-care
They also
is
have
pleasure.
erotica stories. So she'll
Ooh.
tell you a dirty story while she gives you orgasms.
Ooh.
Wait,
Which
and
is also
doesn't the
very
bunny
nice.
one go? Oh, you can mix it with music
Yes,
too, and
there's
it vibrates with
music.
music.
There's music, there's sounds, there's stories, there's meditations, and there's programs.
It
So you
walks
can-
your dog. Just kidding, not yet.
Well, that would be nice, but yeah, we're not that far in it.
I wish that I had the time and energy to make my own like vibrating programs,
No,
but
yeah.
I do not. I will not be
Yeah.
using that feature. So like
But
it's
there is that
whatever.
feature.
But I
Wow.
like the meditation one the best. That's my favorite. But
Yeah.
everybody likes
The
different
tech nerds
things.
could nerd out on that, and
Yeah.
you could make your own. I love that.
Yes,
That's new tech.
somebody is doing that.
One thing
It just
I've
isn't me.
I've talked about this on podcasts in the past, but sometimes when I have sleep issues, I and like if I wake up at 4 a.m., like I need to sleep more, but I can't. I just start telling erotic stories to myself in my head, which is just like my spank bank material. I just like cycle through it.
Yeah.
And I'm just it's like a meditation. Sometimes I'll whip out a vibrator,
Yeah.
sometimes not. And I have to say, at 4 a.m., it'd be nice to have a warm vibrator
yeah.
because it's cold.
The warmth feels
Mhm.
great in the pussy.
And it's quiet.
Mhm.
So
and I wouldn't
if
even
your
have to go
partner's
through my
sleeping
own
next
thing
to
because
you,
it
yeah,
has an
you don't have
app
to
with
wake
all the
them up.
stories
Right.
for me.
Just tell me a story.
Yeah, it's right
Yeah,
there.
so we'll have the inflatable, we'll have the bunny, and we'll have the hot spot on aprilamy.com for you. And it comes with the app, which is really cool. So that is the sex tech that I wanted to tell you about. And that's definitely trend. As a matter of fact, this weekend, I'm going to a show and I'm moderating a sex tech panel.
He is
There's
big.
so much sex tech happening.
There's a lot.
Yeah. So there's a lot in the male masturbators. There's a lot in the cam. There's a lot in haptics, which is the pressure and sensations that can be created, like you could wear a little panty vibrator, or it could be, you could be around the world and your lover could be around on the other side of the world and you could kind of have sex with each other. There's a lot of things that are going on there.
Safer than going to just
club.
find a lover on Tinder,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Or a field.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, I'm just going to sex tech it out. I like that.
exactly.
Safer, but there's also, we have solutions for that too. What are the trends?
Yes. one the
Speaking of
trends.
safer, actually, but right before safer, we're going to
Yeah.
talk about number 3, which is clusterfucks. It is also about non-monogamy. So we're talking about polycules, constellations, relationship anarchy.
Yeah.
I know it was on either not the New York Times, it was the New York Post, New York Times, New York something. It was like on the cover, it was like non-monogamy ? Being a really big thing. So that's a trend.
Yes, it's very much a trend. And this is the one where early in the show, I talked about how I got called a whore and a Jezebel and, all these things because I was on a pretty big mainstream show that had 2.5 million views and there were over 7,000 comments. And about a third of them, people were so triggered by the fact that I'm in a polyamorous relationship. And that's just against their belief structures. But a third of people were like, fuck yeah, this is great. This is where it's going.
Tell me
I'm doing
more.
it too. Tell me
Yeah,
more.
Right.
And what I think is interesting is that there are different dynamics. And so the latest phrase that I am in love with is relationship anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that I like it, well, first of all, I like it because it's anarchy and that I like to tear things down and build them up the way I want them to be. I don't want to inherit someone else's idea of what my life should be like. I want to create my life completely from scratch based on what I need. As I mature and change over time, it's always a moving target as to what I need in my life at that moment. And what I like about relationship anarchy is that it's a consensual non-monogamy construct idea that is, look, let's just say there's 3 people in a relationship. They're 3 unique individuals that need very different things. And so the reason person number 1 versus 2 versus 3 is in that relationship is they're getting their needs met in different ways. And the more you know about what each partner wants from the relationship, the more you can get up every day and work to give them those things. And so instead of being confined to, it's a polycule, it's a polypod, it's open, we're swingers, we're lifestyle, we're moving beyond a lot of those kind of like buckets.
Yeah, those relationship constructs.
We are moving beyond those and into, I would almost call it like roll your own, design your own relationship with the people who are in it.
Yeah.
And constellations, clusterfucks, and pods are just different variations of that. So a constellation is usually a group of people, but not that are all together in this larger consensual non-monogamy relationship, but not everybody's having sex with everybody.
So it's like a community. But it's like not just like we hang out, like there's a sexual lovemaking undertone, even if they're not fucking each other.
Well, no, it's actually that there are some people in the group that never have sex with each other, and there are some people that do.
Okay,
and it's not that it has to be balanced. It's that everybody kind of can do whatever they want to do with the people that they're doing it with. They don't have to be with everyone.
Got it.
But a clusterfuck is where everyone in that group, maybe there's 5 people or 6 people, they're all having sex with each other. Everybody's having sex. They all like having sex with each other and they want to. And a pod is usually a smaller group of people who are also having sex with each other, but there could be some people who are not having sex with the people in the pod. So it's really just about designing the relationship that you want. That's the trend. The trend is that we're moving beyond the initial ideas that, oh, those are swingers. We're poly. It's more like, what are we and what do we want to do? Maybe we are poly people who want to go to a sex party and have sex with other people once in a while. These things are very amorphous.
And how do you keep it safe?
Right. So this is the trend.
Because that is something that's important.
Yes. And I have a thing to show you right here.
A fanny pack?
A fanny pack. Basically, you just wear this fanny pack.
And then you're never going to get laid. And it's called abstinence.
I like having sex with people who wear fanny packs.
I'm kidding. That's not it. But
I think fanny packs are cool. But that's not what it's about. It's just a thing in a fanny pack.
It's the thing in the fanny pack.
Yeah.
And the thing in the fanny pack is this is an at-home STI kit. And literally you can keep this at home. It's kind of like COVID, and you can keep it at home, and then you can take the collection and you can test for the kit that I recommend is the basic 8 plus HSV 1 and 2. Cause I always test for herpes if I'm going to be with a new partner, because, just in case they don't know they have it. And they might be like, oh, it's just a pimple on my butt. And I'm like, my dude, that's herpes. And we're going to have to cover that shit up.
Yeah.
But it's just good for people to know what they have. And that's at fullpaneltest.com. You'll see that on April Amy. And but we can test up to 13 from home now. And you no longer have to go get a blood draw. And a lot of people hate needles. And a lot of people hate making appointments to go get needles.
So this isn't, you don't have to get a needle.
No.
And you don't
really?
no doctor's appointment, no seeing someone in person, no saying I had
takes the
sex
shame out.
and I want to have a panel for this. You get rid of all the things and you can
mail it in
of your own home.
and you get the answers on your phone. And
you get do you get the fanny pack too?
I'm
very excited about that.
I'm giving you the fanny pack because I want you to not ever get laid again.
Okay. Thanks, Susan.
Put it in perspective.
So when people are like, oh my God, they're fucking all those people. How can they do that? Relationship anarchy. Those people are sluts. What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. That is not true at all. They know how to keep it safe. And we'll talk a little bit more about something I like to call A and B level sex when we get to another trend. We'll go into that a little bit more as well.
Okay. So now we have number 4. This is trend number 4, which is slow switch muscles.
Yes.
So I'm curious about this. And orgasmic cross-training.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a CrossFitter. However, does it have anything to do with orgasmic please just share more.
Okay.
Slow switch muscles first, I guess.
So you've heard of slow twitch muscles, right?
Yes.
That you have fast twitch and slow twitch muscles. So it's just a silly little thing. But really what it is about being switchy. As women especially have come into more sexual empowerment of their own, they've moved from just being kind of the receiver and lying there, like that was what our mothers did. But we're like riding cock and we're asking for what we want and we're trying new shit and we've got our sex toys and we've got our ideas and all this kind of stuff. So we're getting switchier. We're getting more where we can be the person who's calling the shots, even if it's a power bottom. And men are finally also, and this is gender spectrum, I support the entire expression of all gender expression there is. I just tend to talk in the kind of nature, nurture, male, female paradigm. It makes it easier for people generally, but I just want to lay that down that I am a rainbow sparkle pony.
Yeah, you are.
And I am, but we're getting switchier. We're getting to the point where we're just more confident. We're having more sexual experiences and we sometimes want to run the bedroom game. And our male-bodied partners are also learning how to get out of their fucking head and receive pleasure and be in the flow state and not feel like they have to carry the burden. A lot of people still think it's my job to give her an orgasm. It's not. It's your job to be totally present and be available and be turned on so we can also be turned on so that we can have our orgasms with you. We don't need you to do us. We need you to be with us.
Fact. Most pussy owners need some sort of clitoral stimulation to orgasm. And many are not having orgasms from penetrative sex.
Say what?
I know, right? This is one of the many reasons why we are obsessed with OMG Yes. Not only has it changed our lives in the orgasm department, but I've been recommending OMG Yes to my clients for years, and it's completely changed their sex lives as well. OMG Yes features scientific research of real vulva owners, aka women, showing techniques to pleasure the pussy. They turn the research into tasteful, educational short videos, animated modules, and infographics for easy visual learning.
They call it OMG Yes for a reason, because OMG Yes is for anyone who wants to learn about pussy pleasure or take it to the next level. Whether you're a beginner or someone who wants to take your orgasms from good to mind-blowing, then you need to check out OMG Yes. They have 3 seasons: external pleasure, internal pleasure, and sex toys. It's not a subscription service, y'all, so you don't need to download a single thing. And it's great for partners who want to pleasure that pussy too. And for listeners of our show, OMG Yes is offering 10% off when you go to omgyes.com/shameless. Again, that's omgyes.com/shameless to receive 10% off unlimited access towards enhancing your pleasure power forever. Newsflash, everybody. We are picky about our lubes.
Can we say uber picky?
Yes, we can. And let me tell you all why Uber Lube is our absolute favorite lube ever. Uber Lube is a luxurious silicone lubricant that I want all over my body. Yes, it's designed for sex because it enhances intimacy while allowing you to still feel the skin-on-skin contact, but it feels so good that I want it everywhere. Uber Lube is long-lasting, leaves your skin feeling velvety smooth, and it's there when you want it, but then it dissipates when you're done.
Yes. Aside from using Uber Lube for all of my sexy sessions, and I use it all the time, I also use it for massages, for my hair frizzies, to prevent chafing, and it brings out the color of your beautiful tattoos. Thousands of doctors and therapists in the US alone are recommending Uber Lube to their patients because it's body-friendly, less likely to change the pH, and has vitamin E so it feels moisturizing on the skin. Uberlube has no flavor or scent, which means it's also great for oral sex. And it comes in a beautiful glass bottle with a pump top, which means easy access to Pleasure Town.
Want to see why we think Uberlube is the best lube in the world? Then go to uberlube.com and use discount code SHAMELESS to get 10% off and free shipping. Again, that's uberlube.com right now with code SHAMELESS for 10% off and free shipping.
When you said, sorry, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
How do you feel about simultaneous orgasms? How important is that one?
Well, I think that if you learn how to have the 20 kinds of orgasms that every body of any gender expression can have, you can have lots and lots of simultaneous orgasms. You can have non-ejaculatory full body orgasms, multiple orgasms, expanded orgasms, squirting orgasms, boobgasms, footgasms, throatgasms.
All the
I mean, all the gasms.
But
And
it's like some people, but all this focus on like, so I want you to come at the same time as me. Are you ready? Like to me, I'm like,
And then they
too
get
much
bummed
pressure.
if it doesn't happen.
Too much pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. When
that's a very old school thinking thing.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
like,
Thank you.
the only way I orgasm is have an ejaculation as a guy. And it's like, no, my God, dude, you can have so many kinds of orgasms.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
like the whole, like, well, we need to do it this one way at the same time. Like, oh God. And it's not happening.
Well, that's exactly what orgasmic cross-training is. Orgasmic cross-training is that you have found, if you're lucky, you found your first way to orgasm. You found that pathway for you when you were little. It was grind humping on
Teddy
something.
bear named
you know?
Barry.
Barry, there you go, it was Barry.
That's all I had
Barry,
access to.
my first love,
Yes,
Barry.
Yeah.
she was amazing. She had the dress. Yes.
Yes.
Flannel.
So you found that pathway, but then over time you found more pathways. You've activated the tissue, and then the tissue has gotten engorged, and then it has more surface area, and then it sends more signals to your brain, your biggest sex organ. And so then you have you start to have all those different kinds of orgasms. And that's what orgasmic cross-training is. Okay. So with regard to cross-training, what I did was I brought a couple of different toys that I think are really good for, one is really good for being switchy. And then the other one is really good. The other two are really good for this orgasmic cross-training, especially around women having orgasms easily from intercourse, being massively multi-orgasmic during intercourse. And so the first one is a cock ring.
Yeah.
And this cock ring, it has both a vibrator on the bottom for him, and his dick and balls go through it. And it has one on the top for her. And for a lot of women some women have found their way to cowgirl woman on top, and they are doing the grinding we've been talking about a little bit, as well as the sliding.
I just realized that's what I need for cowgirl. Sorry, it just came together. Okay.
You
Anyways.
grind on
Continue.
that in cowgirl.
Ah,
So you can use
mind
the
blown.
penis, and then you can have the vibies on your clitoral structure. And then he also gets a nice perineal vibration, which helps, honestly, perineal vibration for men is really good, especially for men that have stamina issues, because, and loss of sensation. It's interesting. When you stimulate the perineum, you stop thinking about the tip of your dick, which gets overly sensitive, and you start bringing your attention into your body, which is one of the first steps toward becoming, having male multiple orgasms. And for the woman, it's really good because she can do the grinds and the slides and get off both ways. And that gets her on top, gets her in control. And then she can basically use him to get herself off.
Well, this also, this turns your cock into a vibrator as well. And it has all these points. When you're talking about switching, it's like you get testicle stimulation, perineum stimulation, the cock is vibrating. So whatever you're penetrating, if anally or vaginally, is also going to feel that vibration. And this helps constrict blood flow, this cock ring. So it, you can last longer. Yes, you can last longer. And some people really want to last longer. So this is my favorite. I was so happy to see this on your list of trending like products that you love, because this toy, this cock ring, is by far, of all the cock rings I've owned, and I own probably, I think 14 or 15. This is by far my favorite, and I did help design it.
Yes,
which I did not coerce her into having this.
I know,
either.
and I'm super excited about this because this is actually like real talk for me. So I used to enjoy being on top. Like I would feel a lot of stimulation from it. In the last number of years, I don't really feel as much. It's not the last number of years, like a decade, meaning like, and that's many partners. And so I don't feel as much stimulation, like as much like this is really great for me. It's not bad. It's just not like I'm like getting to my orgasmic potential. It used to be my squirting position, and then it changed.
Yeah.
It was like my 20s squirting. Now my 30s, not so much. But so I've been looking for something to create more stimulation for me while I'm on top. So thank you. Because I have one already.
Susan's got all the answers. Yeah, bring it back. Bring it back to life. You can resuscitate old sex toys if you bought something and it didn't work for you at some point. That's why I keep my drawer full of things. I get new ones. I don't get rid of them. Just like the air pulse technology hasn't worked for me, but I'm so convinced that it will.
Well, we also have a rule between April and I with a rule of 3s.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yes, is yours 3
gotta
as
try
well?
it 3 times.
Yeah.
You have
so
to.
if you use this and you're like, not
or
really
3 years
for me.
later.
Yeah, or like in my case, 3 years later, where you're like, damn, I got rid of that thing, and now Susan talked about the thing,
And I have gotten rid of toys that I wish I hadn't.
I know.
Gently used toys. My friends get mad. I'm like, dude, it's silicone. I just washed it.
Well, now
and I'm like, I don't want to just throw it in the garbage. I used it one time. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Our landlord, she is where we have our studio. Yeah. And she's always like, I get April's gently used sex toys. I'm like, dude, I used it for like 30 seconds. And then she said, she's like, I actually really like it. I'm like, I washed it with soap and water, but you can do that as well. This is why you stick to high quality sex toys with good materials. Yeah. And that's just a side note. But okay, so we're only at number 4 too. So
I know. I'm so excited.
I think it's a 2-part series.
Yeah.
I know, right? Okay.
Next, the next 2 get the.
I'm
digit
Vanna
2.
White or Vanna Lampert over here.
Grab that digit.
Okay, digit and
Okay, good. So, orgasmic cross-training.
you be Vanna over there.
This particular product, it's on April Amy. It's called Curve. And what's great about it is if you give a blowjob and you put the curve inside you at the same time, you're going to start to connect your pussy and your throat. You're going to start to have throat gasms, and then you're going to start squirting, and you're going to have full body orgasms that go all the way up what's called the lumen, which is basically, like your light source, but it's really it's kind of almost your alimentary system, but it's all the contractions all the way up and down your body. So you're going to have these like massive, like, and it's going to be like a real big squeeze, like a coregasm and the whole thing. And so I like this because you're tickling both ends of the lumen with that technique. And then this is the digit, which I like as well. It's at April Amy. And it is, what I like about it is that for a lot of women, they struggle to have orgasms from intercourse. It's almost like when that dick goes in me, it kind of takes me down. Like it's just not, it feels thud. It feels dead. It doesn't feel like it's active enough. And I say, well, just throw a vibe on your clit. And this is the one I recommend because first it bounces like a little hummingbird on your clit. It's very controllable. It's very low profile. You can get it into almost every sex position that you're using. And you're not going to drop it on the bed because it's like a ring pop. So it's just a fantastic little bullet to stimulate your clit while you're being penetrated. So you start crossing that gasm chasm, and it's not going to make you dependent on it. What you're doing is you're activating the vaginal orgasmic response. And so you won't even need that. You'll start having orgasms just from intercourse. You got to get one thing going, add in the second thing. That's what cross-training is.
That's the cross-training.
And then you start to be able to do that without the initial thing.
So I remember reading a book, The Women's Anatomy of Arousal, a long time ago.
Sherry taught me cross-training.
Yes. Okay.
And I just applied sex toys to it.
So it was like, if you want to learn to get off with on your nipple and touch your nipple, then you would use your vibrator on your clitoris.
Exactly.
And I tried that, and when I tried that, I mean, like one try, it didn't necessarily land. It took like hours or days. And now I use that as my spank bank material, where I'm like, someone's fucking me. So this is like awesome because this is new spank. My spank bank changes every month. Someone's fucking me, but then there's like some other dude there who's fucking my throat, and then the one that's fucking me is like, you're going to like that dick in your throat because I'm fucking your pussy. And that's what you're going to learn to make it feel like cross-training.
This is how I learned how to love giving blowjobs because I use my toy on my clitoris every time I'm giving a blowjob, and it makes me love it and want it even more because it took this mind over matter thing and taking back the power. I also want to say that this digit, the vibe that I have on my hand right now, this is a great doggy style toy, talking about the switch thing, because it can fit on the girthy hands, and like you can just do the old reach around if you're having doggy play,
or if you have hand issues too,
dexterity.
Right?
But you can this is because it's basically hands free because you don't have to hold on to it. So I love it as a doggy style accessory. So even for dudes out there that are looking for something to enhance like the external play as you're penetrating your partner.
Yeah.
Boom. Get one of these. And it's small. And it's not like, oh
But
my
powerful.
God. It's gonna,
I like
super
it on my
powerful.
nipples too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love
this toy.
nipplegasms.
And that's
I can have
AprilAmy.com. I love
so
that.
many-
AprilAmy.com.
I know. Because you got to go first.
I know.
You're first. It's April Amy.
We alphabetized it everywhere else, but
Yeah.
I like
She's
Jedi
number
first.
2 everywhere else, but finally she's number 1.
Finally. We threw her about no.
Finally, yeah.
It was fairness.
I was like, Susan,
it-
can you make her
yes.
number 1 this
Make her
time?
number
It actually, it flows though.
That did not
because-
happen.
No, it didn't happen.
All
So
right.
we're on number 5.
Yeah, we're making some progress.
Oh, this is a big one. Okay, so everyone, biohacking really in right now. Everyone's trying to biohack everything.
Yeah.
And there's such thing as sexual biohacking. Susan, do
Yes.
tell.
Well, nobody wants senior, what we call geriatric genitalia. You don't want old lady parts.
So is this a
old man
thing?
parts.
It's called geriatric genitalia?
No, I just made that shit up.
She made it.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is my copyright.
I was like,
Yeah.
can you look at my
Sexual
pussy and tell me, am I geriatric now?
I can.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Not-
If you have a baby after 30, you're geriatric, right? Or
No,
is that
it's
35?
ridiculous.
Whatever it
Yeah.
is.
I'm
30, yeah.
63
Yeah.
and having the best sex of my life.
Yeah.
Right the fuck
And
now.
looking fabulous.
So the olds are juicing their vaginas and jacking their jizz, people.
Woo!
And
Yeah, get it.
The olds. I asked her, I was like, what are the olds? Does OLD stand for something? She's
Yes,
like, no, it's
like,
the olds. I
the
was
old-
like,
old
oh.
people.
I was like,
Like me.
really?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was like, I have an ARP card already, by the way. You get good discounts. So, am I an old?
So are you juicing
You're
your
still
vagina
not- you're
and
still
jacking
not
your
an old.
jizz?
I don't know. How do you
You
juice your
should.
vagina?
Susan,
Do I
tell
need
her
a
how
juicer?
So
she needs
where-
to do more juicing her
where
vagina.
am I? They're right there.
All right.
That and yes, good and good.
You have all those, yes.
So there's a couple things. First, I've moved beyond O shots and P shots,
Oh.
and now I'm injecting my own stem cells into my clit,
Dang.
which is amazing. No, this is all.
come
This
on,
is coming.
Okay.
So letting you know that.
Do you take your daughter's, isn't that a thing? Take your daughter's
ovary
stem
tissue
cells?
or
Yes,
stem
yeah,
cells?
yeah.
No, mine are in good shape.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
work great.
We're good.
So I just use my own, but my daughter's all like, "Are you lying me?" No.
Scouting.
When she has a baby,
I'm
you're like, can I take your baby's stem cells?
You're
Yeah.
very young
It's
and
like a
young.
new form of grooming.
There's like a whole thing. I was reading about this. It was on documentary on Netflix just recently. The Man Who Doesn't Want to Die.
Yeah. Brian
anyway.
Johnson.
So that's
Yes.
not what she's doing.
No.
No,
But
different subject.
Biohacking came from longevity. It's a word that came from longevity, and it's basically things you can do to extend your health span. But what I talk about when I speak is extending your sex span, using biohacking techniques to extend your sex span. You could say that the red light that we talked about, that is biohacking that we talked about earlier. But another thing that I really like is this vaginal serum. That is an estrogen serum. It's a bi-est, dual estrogens. You want the two. You want estriol and estradiol together in tandem. And I literally use this
There's
on my
nice
face.
ingredients in it.
Really clean ingredients.
Yeah.
I use it on my face. I use it on my hands and arms, and I use it in my vagina. And
So it's like a lubricant almost? Let me see.
it's not. It's an estrogen serum to keep the tissue plump in your vagina so that it stays nice and can hold the lubrication, or you have loss of lubrication, your tissue thins, etc.
Oh, but it has DHEA. I can't have anything with DHEA.
That one's DHEA. There's
Okay.
one that does not have DHEA and has just the bias.
Okay,
There's
that's good.
two formulations.
Because I'm on the testosterone pellet, so DHEA makes me like a monster that
Right.
comes out of her like cave.
Right,
Like,
right.
wow. So that's good. So
Exactly.
there's a DHEA free one.
And for women who aren't on testosterone but have sensation loss of their clitoris or kind of like vanishing clit, the DHEA is actually the one that it helps with sensation.
Oh.
The estrogen one is for the loss of like the loss of tissue volume and the loss of lubrication.
Elasticity.
Elasticity.
Yeah.
And you honestly,
Okay.
that's a 90-day supply too, which is nice. It's actually like $30 a month. So it's like
Nice.
a buck a day.
So you do this
It's not
like once a
expensive.
day or twice a day as a practice.
I do it a couple times a
Okay.
week myself,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I also take additional estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. So
Okay.
I'm on hormone replacement therapy
Yeah.
in addition to this. This is
Okay.
just like a
add-on.
zhuzh.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a zhuzh.
So
It's a
that's
bonus.
cool. I'm glad
Yeah.
that they make stuff without DHEA because
They
I
do.
I didn't know about that
Yeah.
until I became a monster.
Yes.
And then I was like, what's going on?
Yeah,
Until I became one.
Well,
because-
because I had the testosterone and pellets, and then
You're like
I
the
was
Incredible
taking
Hulk.
DHEA.
Mhm.
So I was like, it's anti-aging.
Mhm.
But I didn't know that it was conflicting for women, especially on HRT, hormone replacement. So that's great that they make this without that. That's awesome to know.
Testosterone comes from DHEA. DHEA is the master hormone.
Right.
So
But if
you
I-
were
but
doubling,
taking more- yeah.
you were doubling.
That's
up
why I
is
became a
essentially what
monster.
happened. Yes, I can hardly imagine. The other thing that's really fun is this. I'll tell you, my guys love this, and now my women do too. It's called Erectin Gummies.
And also really good ingredients too.
Really good ingredients. And this you just take right before sex, and it engorges your genitals and makes everything feel better. And it's so cute because like my guy will come in and he'll set up my lover's nest for me and lay down the fascinator and get the towels and put on the Lumi box and, you know, get the heating right and put on my sexy playlist. And I'll be like, you're such a good boy. Here you go.
Oh,
and he'll be
candy.
like,
How long does it take for it to have like an effect?
oh, it's almost immediate.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it goes
eat well.
right.
Yes,
the good boy
I love
got his cookie.
Yeah,
I
boy
love
got
that.
his cherry gummies and now he's got a big hard dick. Oh, I love that.
I won't eat any, but
Eat one. They're so good. Well,
Well-
but you'll have to eat it on the set, and then you'll be all like,
I'm all about cardiovascular health. Okay, good.
And then the last thing, I don't have anything to show you, but I have something that I'm going to put on aprilamy.com, and that's called the Huge Load Super Pack. A lot of men, when we talk about jacking your jizz, a lot of men want a lot of semen volume. And there are semen volume capsules and supplements out there. Some of them are very good, like Popstar, Semen Axe. You probably know a few. They're great. But if you really want to jack the shit out of your jizz, if you want to really get like a banging boner and a lot of volume, it works best to get enough material to actually make a smoothie. So I have smoothie recipes where you add a few things together and it really improves everything even more because there's literally just more material than you can get in a couple capsules. And so I'll put a link to that on April Amy as well. It's called Huge Load Super Pack.
Yum,
And
yum.
it basically is, what are the things that you want? Do you want your cum to taste good? Do you want to have a lot of semen volume? Are you trying to get good sperm motility? You know, what are you going for? And then here's what you can put in your morning smoothies.
Do you want it to taste really yummy?
I do.
Do you want it to be
Yes.
green?
Do you want it? Do you want it? Do you want it to shoot out rainbows and glitter? Oh, here we go. Yes.
To learn more, go to shamelesssex.com.
And for 15% off some of our favorite sex toys, use code SHAMELESSSEX at purepleasureshop.com.